Oh, God. My ass is killing me. If only you guys knew how hard this chair was. I mean, listen to this. This is the seat of the chair. You know what I'm saying? I have bruises on my ass from this thing. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another gaming topic commentary where we get to talk to each other one-on-one like a little mano-a-mano. Perhaps we're talking about cucumbers or butternut squash or maybe even bananas. Where is your mind at right now? Huh? You are disgusting. Okay. No, but seriously, today we are talking about the evolution of Nintendo consoles, because really, Nintendo doesn't get enough love, okay? And all of you guys know that I love Nintendo. I haven't played a console in like 13 centuries, but hey, I love the company and I want to get a little more of it, you know what I mean? I'm striving, I'm thirsting for a little bit more Nintendo. So in order to know what Nintendo needs to do for the future, we need to go into the past to realize some mistakes that they've made, or perhaps some good things that they've done that they need to build upon in order to keep the company going. So let's start off with what really put Nintendo on the map. The NES? No. Okay. And if you don't know what NES stands for, it's the Nintendo Entertainment System. Or perhaps Nuggets enjoying salsa. I don't know, that might be delicious. I've never tried it. Don't knock it until you've tried it. No, but the NES actually wasn't the first thing that Nintendo actually introduced into the gaming industry. The first thing that really kind of put them on the map as far as gaming was concerned was they actually created these little handheld devices that had one video game per device that included anything from Donkey Kong to Zelda, that started in 1980 that lasted through 1991. Now the first thing obviously that really made them a home brand name was the NES, of course, because so many people bought it. Mario was a huge success. It was in everybody's home. If you didn't own an NES, you were a loser, essentially. You weren't at the cool kids table. You weren't sitting at my table, that's for sure. Get the hell off my table. You know what I mean? Don't come in here with your SEGA or some shit. But yes, 1985 was the year of the NES. It was the cool thing to be getting, and it introduced the 8-bit graphics. You know, that whole 8-bit theme that you see on the internet now where people kind of do old school graphical design, that started really with the NES, and that's how Mario was created and so forth. Then in 1991, they jumped it up to 16-bit graphics with the Super Nintendo. And really, this was the first step that Nintendo took towards cutting the jugular vein of the SEGA. For those of you who don't know what happened to SEGA consoles, Nintendo essentially murdered them. Like 5th degree murder. We're talking chainsaws, you know what I mean? Cut them up into little pieces, put them in the trunk, dragged them out to the river, buried them, you know what I mean? But who cares, right? No one's looking in the river. No, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, the Super Nintendo launched and it was competing with the Sega Genesis, and because of their popular games like Super Mario World and Street Fighter 2, they stayed very much relevant for the following 10 years. Now, the second to last thing that Nintendo launched in order to effectively murder the Sega consoles was the creation of the Game Boy Color. Now, for those of you who think that the Game Boy Color was created because all of the little devices were cool colors, you shut your mouth, okay? Because you're wrong. That's not why it was called Game Boy Color. It was called the Game Boy Color because the games you were playing were actually displaying real color on your screen, which they didn't have in the original Game Boy. Now, the reason this destroyed Sega so much is because they had a really successful handheld device called the Game Gear. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. Jurassic Park was my favorite game. Okay, I would play it while I watched the movies, which in turn made me very badass. But the real reason why the Game Boy Color was so much more successful than the Game Gear was because of the simplicity of it. It was just a little square with a couple buttons on it, but it did display color, so people loved it. Now, following the Game Boy Color, Nintendo decided to take 2 steps forward, right? Because they had the new Super Nintendo launch with 16 bits. So you're thinking, hey, where's our 32-bit console? Nowhere, because they launched the Nintendo 64, which jumped it to 64 bits. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Yeah, we jumped over that 32. We don't need that 32. Get out of here, you little shit. Now, but the Nintendo 64 was very successful because of those 64 bits. You can now create these vast worlds to travel across, and with that, you can now tell incredible storytelling and really kind of get into character development and so forth. So that really opened up the whole gaming industry to the types of campaigns and storytelling that we have today. Now, the final ass whooping that SEGA took that really did take them off of the map as far as consoles are concerned was the incorporation of the Nintendo GameCube. Now, by no means was the GameCube massively successful. It was cool. I bought it because it was a cube. And that's cool, right? No, but the cool thing that the GameCube did, well, I don't even know if I want to call it cool because I kind of miss SEGA. I don't know, I just like a lot of competition in the market. But the Nintendo GameCube competed against the SEGA Dreamcast, and we all know how that battle went. Rest in peace, SEGA consoles. We will miss you dearly. Hey, but you still have Sonic, you know what I mean? So don't worry about it. It's gonna be okay. So we've talked about some of the success that Nintendo has had through the 80s and the 90s, and coming up into the 2000s, the 21st century, they launched their greatest success by far, which was the Wii. Now, the reason why the Wii was, believe it or not, the top selling last generation console. That's right, it sold more than the Xbox 360 and the PS3. This is where the Nintendo fanboys get to flick everybody off. That's right, enjoy it. Enjoy it because it's here and we can talk about it for a second. No, but the reason the Wii was so damn successful is because they innovated the market with the idea of motion-controlled video games. You all know what I'm talking about. They had the Wii Sports, they had Mario Tennis, all these games that you could play with their little motion-controlled devices that came along with the Wii. Now, that launched an entire huge fitness industry for video games. You know, the older generations started getting more involved because they wanted to, you know, become more physically active. And I think it was a great thing for the gaming industry. But just so you guys know, the Nintendo Wii has sold over 100 million units, whereas the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 are both right around 80 million consoles sold. I see all those smiles out there, Nintendo fans. I'm with you. I'm with you on this. But I didn't own a Wii, so I can't really say anything. But whatever. Which now brings me to Nintendo's current system, which is the Wii U. The Wii what? What'd you say? What are we doing? Alright, but let's get real. The Wii U is the current generation of Nintendo consoles that specs-wise, hardware-wise, is a little bit behind the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, but they did that on purpose, right? Because the Wii had less, you know, a little bit worse specs than the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, but yet they still sold 20 million more consoles than they did. So they thought that they could stick to that same strategy and it would be successful, but it kind of backfired on them because now in the gaming industry, it's all about the best graphics you can have, the more like intricate gameplay systems you can have, and that really is taking over the industry, and Nintendo has now, you know, has to catch up to that. And to be honest with you guys, the console really hasn't done as bad as a lot of people think. To this day, it's almost shipped 10 million units, which is way better than what people give them credit for. But the bad thing about that is they're kind of selling just enough units in order to keep the Wii U relevant. So, in my personal opinion, I would almost rather the console just fail miserably so they would instantly have to move on to their next console. So, but let's talk about that next console because they have hinted about it. They even mentioned it at their E3 press conference, and it's nicknamed the NX. What the hell that stands for, I don't know. Maybe next, you know what I mean? Like Nintendo Next, like the next gen. Nah, I'm just speculating here. But so what do we really know about this next or new generation console from Nintendo? Well, I'll tell you what we know. Nothing. We know absolutely nothing about it at all. But what I will say is I do have some predictions about what this next console will be like. Now, the first thing that I am predicting, and you're hearing it here live on this gaming topic commentary, I personally predict that the next Nintendo console will be backwards compatible with the Wii U at launch, because it almost seems kind of pointless to be launching all of these great games that they've been launching here in the last few months. I mean, you've got the new Mario Kart, you've got a Zelda game coming out, you have the new title called Splatoon, which is getting great reviews. So why would you put these games out if essentially you're just launching a new console here in another year? The other thing I think they're gonna do is I think they're gonna build on the Nintendo Amiibos that they've created. Now, if you don't know what Amiibos are, they're these little toy figurines that you can store data within, that you can, like, when your Nintendo console reads the toy, it inputs that character in the game, and you can level them up, and you can fight against them, and your Amiibos can fight against other people's Amiibos. It's essentially like raising a Pokemon. You know what I mean? And how badass is that? Because we all miss Pokemon. Now, the last thing I think they're gonna transform is the Nintendo gamepad. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically a big ass controller that has a screen on it that you can like walk around your house and play your Wii games on. You don't even have to be using your TV. And there's a whole bunch of kind of like gameplay mechanics and stuff that you can also use with that gamepad. I think they're gonna build upon it, innovate it in whatever way. So maybe you don't even have to be in your damn house. You can be down the street at your neighbor's house and you're still playing your Wii NX console. But those are my predictions, guys. That is the evolution of the Nintendo console. Real quick before we go, I got a personal message for Nintendo. Please, for the love of God, do not have this new generation console fail just like the Virtual Boy. That would be a virtual reality console that they launched in 1995. You didn't hear about it because they discontinued it in 1996. Possibly the greatest fail in all of gaming's history. Alright guys, but that is it for this commentary. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to comment, share, click that thumbs up button, and if you haven't subscribed to this freaking channel already, I'm gonna take my ceramic dog here and I'm gonna shove him, I'm just gonna shove him right up your... Just kidding. Okay, I am not a violent person. I would never do that. Ever. Alright guys, but you know the deal. Keep living that life. Hold up. Cause that's what thugs do, baby. Alright guys, take it easy.